No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy is a novel set in 1980 Texas, where a man named Llewellyn Moss finds a briefcase filled with $2.4 million. He finds this from a drug deal that turned into a shootout where every man was left dead. This leads him onto a journey where he is chased by serial killer Anton Chigurh. Chigurh is a serial killer and psychopath who deals with people in an animalistic and cruel way. He adheres to this strict set of quote-unquote morals that leads him to being very unsettling and completely unreal.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
All right. Heads, then.
Well done. Don't put it in your pocket.
Sir?
Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Where do you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin. Which it is.
Twice in the novel, Chigurh flips that coin. Once, as you had just seen with the man at the gas station, and another time with Carla Jean Moss, Llewellyn Moss, our protagonist's wife. Both times it allowed for people in a way to try and decide their own fate. Yet, at the end, it's completely up to chance, and their choosing the side of the coin would be a farce. Their fate had already been decided. The way Chigurh states this to people is extremely unsettling, yet also completely consistent with who he is and what he believes in. Chigurh, in a way, as a character, is the coin. It's pure chance what happens. It's the flip of a coin, whether you'll live to see another day or not when you meet him. And just as flipping a coin, he does not discriminate and never changes circumstances based on outside input or possibilities. Chigurh as a character being the disturbing psychomaniac that he is, and him having no feeling for anything truly helps paint the events of the novel. Violence seeming at every page, put against the landscape of great desert. A desert filled with nothing but violence. Moss, as he walks through the remains of a drug duel gone wrong. The dead bodies, shattered glass, trucks full of dope and dead dope runners all surrounding, Moss knew well enough that there had to be a last man standing, where he eventually found that last man standing, dead on the ground with a briefcase of cash. This symbolizes and foreshadows what happens to someone who tries to use the money for themselves. This will not be something that will be successful. Greed will not prevail. The money would have to have found its way back eventually, one way or another. When Moss took the money originally, it looked like a stroke of good luck. This good luck was instead his sentence of death, with Chigurh as his executioner. In the novel, Chigurh killing Moss is an inevitability. Not only is it a consequence of Moss's actions, yet also uses symbolism for Chigurh. He is death itself. Like a coin, he does not prejudice based on circumstance, timeliness, or convenience. Yet instead, he does what he knows needs to be done, or feels has to be done. In the novel, Chigurh seemingly represents an evil and gruesome nature of the world. He represents death and evil in the novel. And without Moss being much of anything great other than a man stuck between a rock and a hard place, one character we have not yet mentioned that represents good is Sheriff Bell. He is what is good left in this world. He is what you may consider the old man. And in the novel, you follow him as he is tracking down Chigurh and Moss and the messes they cause. Slowly and surely throughout the novel, he comes to the realization that there's something new in the water, something older people she views as more noble, have no place for. Their values do not stand, and these people will not be changed. This makes this world no country for old men. Cormac McCarthy is a prolific American novelist with a Pulitzer Prize and a career that has spanned half a century. He's written many novels, including many different themes. No Country for Old Men was able to highlight sheer violence in contrast to a man old in his ways who cannot catch up. Two of McCarthy's works that stick out in this way have these themes as main features. Blood Meridian, as suggested by the title, highlights violence and bloodshed in McCarthy's works. As Karen James of the New York Times put it, the kid's terseness is a mild parody of B-movie westerns. Looking at a severed head, he spat and wiped his mouth. He ain't no kid to me, he said. The horrifying details stick in our mind, while the surreal elements melt away. End quote. This surreal and horrifying violence in Blood Meridian, being similar in horrifying nature and disregard for the action, is extremely provoking. Just as Chigurh pulling over a man on the highway in a stolen police cruiser just to kill him is similar. Though Chigurh seems to have more purpose than in Blood Meridian, the violence and disregard for humanity is still there. In another way, McCarthy's 1992 work, All the Pretty Horses, is a novel that highlights the changes in society. This is to the same tune of Sheriff Bell and his beliefs in No Country for Old Men. Both are perceived negatively. As Madison Smart Bell, also of the New York Times, said about McCarthy's All the Pretty Horses, quote, along with the manifold felicities of his writing goes a serious concern with the nature of God, if God exists, and almost obsessively with the nature of something most readers have assumed to be evil. The decay of Western civilization throws a long shadow across the entire work, end quote. This being in the same song that Sheriff Bell sings in the novel, as well as it being the primary premise of the work, shows this is clearly an important theme and motif across McCarthy as an author, and this is something that he clearly focuses on. McCarthy, being able to culminate the violence of Blood Meridian and the decay of civilization in All the Pretty Horses, shows a great authorship. Being able to revisit the old themes and premises of old novels, use the symbols he used to build up these themes in No Country for Old Men, shows great authorship from McCarthy. Being able to revisit old themes, bring new light to them, add new nuances to them. This makes McCarthy's works fantastic. It makes him a great author. It is to be astonished at, and it's to make him celebrate.